Oh, take it slow. He like it when a real bitch drop it real low.
Hey y'all, it's Jada the Great back with another video, and we're doing things a little different today. We're gonna do a story time on how I stole my car and moved to LA. So I'm gonna do the backstory for y'all, just so y'all kind of get the reason why I had to steal my car. My boyfriend was flying me out to California frequently. He was like, you know, I want to fly you out here just so you can see California since you've never been, and da da da. So I'm like, okay, cool, I'm with it. I fly out here and I fall in love with California. Like, yo, I really like it out here. Like, this is where I need to be. And so he already was thinking that. He's like, well, I think we should make that move out there. Like, we should just do it. So I was still in hair school, so I couldn't just get up and leave. It was like maybe like a 2 months time period. I was still in school, and so I was flying out like every 2 weeks. I was just flying out, just visiting. So it was like a 2-month time period when I was back and forth, just visiting. And so when my homegirl in hair school, she found out, well, one of my friends in hair school, she found out like, oh, you're moving to Cali? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, oh, well, you need to check out this salon. It's popping on IG or whatever. I'm sure it's like gonna bring good traffic. So I was like, okay, cool. And so I went and spoke to the owner, and like one of the times I visited, I spoke to the owner, and he was like, yeah, when you come back, you know, you have a job here, you're welcomed here. Because I showed him my portfolio. He was like, okay, you have good work, we can work with it, like, let's go. So I was like, bet, like, I got hired, I'm good. Like, so I went back home and I'm all excited, and I went to go tell my mom, like, you know, I went to Cali and I'm thinking about moving there because I already got like a job opportunity basically, and he said I'm good to go, like I could work there. And she's like, no. Mind you, my mom's a hair salon owner, so she already has this like idea, like, okay, when you get done with hair school, we're gonna work in my shop together, we're gonna build together, stuff like that. So that's where I feel like I pissed her off at the most, that I just was like, oh nope, I'm gonna go to Cali and build with someone else, you know. So it was kind of like, you know, messed up at the time. So she's just like, no, you're not going, and I don't know why you think you could just up and move, this and that. Like, she was so against it. And at the time, my boyfriend, we were only dating for like 8 months. Literally, no. We were only dating for like 10 months. 10 months, not even a year yet. Okay, so she's like, no, no, and no. And like, now that I'm a little bit older, I can't understand why she was like, no. I understand now, but at the time, I didn't understand. I was kind of like, well, I'm about to finish hair school, and I low-key can do whatever I want after I get my license. So that was my mindset, so bad. So I had just got a car, and she was like the co-owner of it, and she's like, well, so later on it came to the point where she's like, okay, well, you want to go to Cali, you can go, but you can't take your car. And I'm like, why can't I take my car? Like, there was just a way of her not wanting me to leave. Like, realistically, she just didn't want me to leave. I understand, but I didn't at the time. I'm like, no, I want to go, and I'm taking my car. So she's like, no, you're not. And I'm like, okay, we'll see about that. I graduated hair school, and I think like the day I graduated, I flew out. Like the next day, I flew out again just to get everything straight, like look at more apartments and get everything good. And I'm like, you know, I'm out of here. Like, I'm gone. So, oh my God, I remember this day like it was yesterday. So I come back to Georgia, I think for like the weekend, and I'm just thinking like, okay, how am I gonna get to California? Like, to ship my car is like $1,000, and I just graduated hair school, don't really have a clientele like that. I don't have $1,000 just to put up to move my car over here. Like, no. And if I did, like, I'm about to move into a whole new apartment, I need that $1,000 for other things. Like, no, I can't do that. So I was just like, who could drive with me to LA? You know, like who could go with me? So I was like, let me see. And my bestest friend in the whole wide world, Trina, said, I called her. Okay, so I called her and I'm just like, Trina, I need a big favor. And she's like, what? I said, I need you to drive to LA with me, and my boyfriend's gonna buy your ticket back home, because I know it's like, you know, Thanksgiving was coming up. And I was like, I know it's Thanksgiving coming up, and he'll give you give you a ticket back home or whatever, like as soon as we touch down you could just go back. And she's like, okay. I really didn't expect her to just be so what she said, all right, like we out. And I was like, okay, bet. And so then I didn't tell nobody, by the way. I didn't tell my sister, I didn't tell no one. I think the only person I called was like my grandma. I think I called her and I told her, because I could always talk to my grandma about stuff. And I just called her and I told her, I was like, Grandma, like, I think I'm about to just leave. Like, I think I just want to move to California. I want to go. And my grandma's just like, just be safe. Whatever you do, just be safe. You're going to make your own decision. You know, you're going to make your own choices, because you're of age to do that now. So be safe. That's all I'm saying. So I was like, okay. And what did I do? The night that I was leaving, I told my mom, well, the night before I left, I told my mom, like, I'm going to go spend the night at one of my homegirls' house. This was another homegirl, not the one I drove with me. I was like, I'm going to spend the night at one of my homegirls' house or whatever tonight. And I always did that. So she's like, all right, bye, see you later. Okay, so I go to my homegirl's house. I wake up at like 3 a.m. No, 4 a.m. or like 4 or 5 a.m. And I was like, I packed up all my stuff in my car, by the way. Like, I packed a couple stuff, not like everything, but like stuff to get me started. And so then I called my homegirl and I'm like, yo, like, are you ready? It's like 5 a.m. and she's like, okay, yeah, I'm ready. And I was like, okay, I'll drive first, because I know you're tired. I know you sleepy, like you just sleep in a car. I'll drive first. So to get to California from LA, to get to California from Atlanta is 32 hours. We did that straight. 8 hours apiece. I drove 8 hours first. She drove 8 hours second. Then I drove another 8. Then she drove another 8. And we were in California. Literally, like, it was like that simple for us. We just did 8. And we did it nonstop. We stopped a couple times to get gas and one time to get food. And the only food we ate on the way there was Subway. We literally stopped at a Subway in like, I don't even know, the middle of nowhere, and got some food because we were so hungry. But the adrenaline was just like, the Russian adrenaline was just so crazy. We didn't have an appetite, because first of all, neither of us ever drove across country. We were terrified second of all, of going through Texas, because Texas was the longest state. 2 young black girls driving through a Confederate state, like, anybody's gonna be scared. Like, we from Atlanta, we know how this whole situation be going when you get pulled over and y'all ain't got no, you know, yeah, it's just 2 young girls. Like, anything could happen. The car could break down. Anything could happen. But it didn't, because before we left, we were just like, you know, we got to get there. That's just that. We got to get there. We have a game plan. We're going to get there. And my homegirl, she's a Capricorn too, just like me. So when we say we're going to do something, we're going to do it. Simple. It was like nobody better that I could have chose to ride with me, like literally, because she was so with it and just so like easy. Like, it was even to the point where I drove for like 6.5 hours and I was getting so tired because adrenaline had wore. It was like when we were almost to California, adrenaline wore off and I was getting so sleepy, and I'm like, oh my god, you're gonna hate me, but can you please just like do my last 2 hours? So actually, I think she drove the 10 hours. Like, when we were 10 hours away, I think she drove that all the way through. Like, once we got out of Texas, it was through I don't even know what states we were going through. We went through so many states. But she drove like an extra 2 hours because I was just so tired. Okay. Now here's the part. So when we got there, my boyfriend, he was like, oh, y'all finally here. Like, he was honestly surprised. He was like, oh my god, this is crazy. Like, you did it. Like, you're here. And I'm like, yeah, we here. Like, what's up? So he was very like, you know, appreciative and grateful that I did that, because he's like, wow, you really, you know, set your mind to something and you did it. Like, good. Like, I got y'all. You good. I'm gonna get her ticket back. you know, all that, like. And so I was like, okay, great. So we went, and she got her ticket. He got her ticket back the next day because it was Thanksgiving. Mind you, Thanksgiving is our anniversary. I moved to LA on our year anniversary. I was with him for 1 year, and that's when we moved to LA. Like, got there on the year anniversary. Like, yeah. So, and we're still together, by the way. We've been together for 4 years now. It's been great. But what happened? So, I want to say, like, the next day, my mom calls me. Because by this time, like, 2 days done went by, and I would normally be back home by then. Because I don't stay long for more than, like, 2 days. But I at least checking in or, like, you know, coming by or whatever. Because I was at a childhood friend house, so she know, like, I'll be there for a whole week sometimes, and it's whatever. But normally, I'll come check in. Because she stayed 2 minutes from me. Like, why wouldn't I just come home and pop my head in one time and be like, hey, I'm alive. So she calls me. She's like, hey, where you at? And I was like, I'm in LA. And she's like, okay, where's your car? And I was like, with me in LA. And she was like, are you serious? She just, like, spazzed on me. Like, it was very, very, very bad and ugly. And she threatened to report my car stolen. But I was smart enough to do some research, and being that I am a co-owner of the car too, you can't report it stolen. Wait, my client's calling, sorry. Hello? So yeah, so she calls me and she's like, where are you? And I was like, oh my God, it's crazy because I literally feel the fear. I feel the fear that I felt back then, like, all over again. Like, that's, like, my hands are sweating. Like, that's how scary. It was terrifying. Because I was like, oh my God, like, she's gonna hate me. She's gonna come out here and get me. She's gonna go off. Like, I just felt so bad. Like, I felt so bad for doing this. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I felt like I just betrayed my mother. And yeah. So, and she made me feel no better about it. She was pissed off. She went off on me. I'm talking about, like, she went off on me. We didn't speak for a couple days, and it was just really bad. And so I ended up, you know, calling her, like, understand I'm out here with a plan. I'm not just out here for no reason. I'm not just out here just to be out here and just say, oh, I live in LA. Like, no, I have a whole plan. I got my license. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna work. I'm gonna build a clientele. I'm gonna do everything I can to survive in this city and be something, you know? And that was hard for her to wrap her head around, because I am the youngest child, and that was my first time ever leaving the nest. So she's like, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, LA's gonna eat you up and chew you out. Like, that is a city, you know, you need to be 100% prepared for. I think you should have just waited. And maybe she was right, because that first year here was my toughest year here. I was like, okay, I want to move back home. I literally was like going through the motions of depression, all of that, because mind you, I had the same friends from childhood. I moved here, didn't know anybody. I only had my boyfriend, but you know, you need your girls too. So I didn't have any girlfriends. It's hard to make friends out here. If you live in LA, you know it's hard to make friends out here as an adult, especially. Like, it was horrible. So the first year I was really just depressed, and I was a mess, and I was visiting home very frequently. Like, I want to say almost every other month I was just back home. Like, it would only be for a couple days, but I still missed home a lot, you know. And my second year, going on my second year out here is, I think, when she visited me. Yeah, going on my second year here is when she decided to visit me. And she seen how I was living, you know, in a pretty good situation. She seen that I was actually working, and what I was saying was true. Like, it's better out here. And she was proud. She was very happy. But I want y'all, you know, I never even really asked her this question, but I want to call her and I want to see, like, how she felt when I first moved out here. I'm gonna put it on speaker. Boss lady. Wait. It's not gonna focus. It says boss lady mama. Boss lady mommy. She always answers my phone call, so she better answer.
Jada.
Hey, Ma.
Hey, what's up?
What are you doing?
I'm filming giving curl Kristen hair. Where you at?
I'm at home. I was filming a video saying how I had sold my car and moved to LA. Are you busy?
Okay. Yeah, I'm busy right now. I can't do it right now. Want me to call you back when I get in the car?
Yeah, coming back.
Okay.
Alright, bye.
Okay, bye.
She's at work right now, so we can't get her input right now, but we're gonna get it. Cause I never really talked. I never like once we got over it, I never brought it up again because I was just so like, I don't know. I was kind of like, how was she supposed to feel that I stole my car? Like, pissed off. But so I ended up going back home one time, and like a lot of people that went to school with me when they were done with school. When they were done with school and they got their license and stuff, they would come back to the school and share their like success stories, or like, I work in this salon now and I'm doing this with my license. Like, because a lot of people will graduate from hair school and not do anything with their license. Like, they'll just go work in a 9 to 5 or something. Like, they just don't utilize it. So I go back to Atlanta and I go to my school, and you know, I'm back and I'm talking to everybody. Everybody's all like, oh, how's LA? You know, everybody's happy and stuff. Like, the teachers are happy to talk to me, most of them, because one teacher in particular there, well, she wasn't even a teacher, she was like the head person, principal, administrator, whatever you want to call it, that was there. I went and told her, like, you know, Miss So-and-so, I'm in LA and I'm doing this and that. I work at the salon now, you know. And she's like, LA. And I was like, yeah, like, what? And she's like, so you were out there for some boy? Those were her literal words to me. So you moved out there for some boy? I just told you I work in one of the top salons in LA, and that's your first response to me? You're crazy. And you're a hater. So, what? And my mom didn't even say that to me. My mom didn't even, like, try to push that narrative on me. She literally was just concerned for my safety, just being in a new city. This lady gonna come out her mouth and say I moved to a new city for some boy. Like, I don't have my own job. I'm not making my own money. Like, I'm not a whole hairstylist. You're crazy and you're a hater. I'm sorry that you're stuck behind the desk, and I'm not even gonna go in. But yeah, so that's when it really opened. I was really young at this time too. Like, now I'm a little more older. I kind of get why people are so bitter in the positions that they're in. But I was so young and naive at the time. I'm just like, okay, no, but whatever. But so yeah, so that's another disclaimer. This happened. I've been living in LA now for 3 whole years. Me and my boyfriend, that boy that I moved out here for, we've been together for 4 years now, and we're doing great. As you can see, we just had a trip in Hawaii. That's like two videos ago, or 1 video ago. I uploaded our trip to the Polynesian Culture Center in Hawaii. So things have been going great. Everything's been great. And I'm not telling this story so another 19-year-old could go out there and be like, oh, she moved out at 19, I could probably do it too. Yeah, you probably could do it too. But if your parents are telling you not to move, then maybe you should just sit down a little bit, listen, hear them out, go another plan, you know, because I'm not saying it's going to work out for everybody. I'm not saying that you can move out today and be good tomorrow, because a lot of people moved out here after me and fell on their face, had to go back home, and was embarrassed about having to go back home. I don't see why they were embarrassed, because stuff happens all the time, but they were embarrassed. Like, I gotta go back home. You know, I look stupid now. Like, people thought I was out here doing my thing and I'm going back home. Like, yeah, I guess that is kind of embarrassing, but you don't want that to be you. So have a good plan. I had a plan. I had an apartment set out. I already had a way of making money when I came. I had a whole thing that I had going on before I just jumped out. And then I had a lot of help from my boyfriend as well. So that was the plus. Like, before you just jump out and leave and go somewhere, make sure you have a plan. Make sure you know that place. That's why it was very important when I was visiting frequently. I got to know more and more about LA. Like, I found out it's hard to find good food here in like the parts that I stay in. I guess everybody say you travel out to other sides of LA, like the hood and stuff, you find good food, but I don't be in the hood. I'm not gonna be in nobody's hood that I don't know. So it's hard for me to find food around this area, West Hollywood and stuff. I mean, I've been searching, but yeah, that's another story. But yeah, so my advice to anybody that wants to leave the house: have a plan, talk it over with whoever you need to talk it over with, parents, guardian, grandma, grandpa, whoever. Talk it over with them. Make sure everybody's on the same page so there's no chaos and you don't get threats on getting your car taken from you. Because I was very scared. I didn't know at the time that wasn't going to happen, but that was just one of her scare tactics to me, I guess, and it got me pretty good. But I hope y'all enjoyed this story time. I'm also gonna put my friend on FaceTime right now to give her a shout out, because without her I wouldn't be here, because I needed someone to drive me really good. Is everybody busy? Like, oh, it is like 5 o'clock there right now. It's the middle of the day. You're like, I'm not trying to FaceTime. Everybody's busy. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. If you've moved abruptly before and just got up and headed out to wherever, let me know where you moved to, how was it, who had their opinions to say about what, and let me know how it worked out for you. I'm interested. But thanks for watching. Bye.